Now, last but not least, we have Nino Macharashvili, and she is a fellow journalist, so I always appreciate a fellow journalist, from Quack, a game that helps you hunt down fake news.
Thank you. In 2017, just 1 year after the Georgia-EU Association Agreement entered into force, one of the pro-Russian Facebook pages posted a claim that since 2009, Albania's economy has shrunk because of signing the association agreement with the EU. Raise your hand if you think this is real. Actually, a Georgian fact-checking organization dived deep into the subject and concluded in a 700-word article that this claim is a manipulation, so well done, guys, and the real reason behind the Albanian economic recess is attributed to the world economic crisis. Every time fake news like this spreads, the Georgians' willingness to become part of the EU declines. And while the fake news spreads fast and effectively, the counter-information, such as the above-mentioned comprehensive article, does not reach wide audience. With the gaming platform Quack, we will change this. Quack is inspired by the Nintendo game Duck Hunt from the late 80s. The player is challenged to catch the duck, read the statement, and decide whether it is true or fake. After the player closes a round of 30 questions successfully, they move to the next rounds, with the multiple ducks flying around the screen much faster. This way, we make sure that the player stays challenged, and they come back, and they do not get bored, and they come back to the games regularly. The game will help fact-checking organizations, the NGOs, and think tanks to distribute complex information to their audiences in a fun and engaging way. With the easy-to-use interface, they will create their own editions of the game, where each statement is supported by a fact-checking article of a credible source. The game will also be useful for the media outlets for their special projects. Through the gaming platform, we offer these organizations not only the gaming technology, but also insights from the players' analytics, a space for shared learning, and access to much large audience. The game will also be white-labeled and offered to educational institutions to diversify their learning experiences. We need $30,000 for the next 6 months to update the game, to subsidize 10 customers, and attract 5,000 beta users to test and experiment with the platform. After 6 months, we start selling different packages, with the cheapest one being only $1,500. We offer different levels of customization and expect $100,000 income in the first year. The team behind the game turned 4 years old today. It is our birthday. We are Forset, a creative agency on a mission to strengthen change makers using data, design, and technology. We are game developers, illustrators, designers, researchers, entrepreneurs, and communication specialists. Over the last 4 years, we have worked with 150 organizations and successfully implemented more than 300 projects. From our existing partners, we have identified 1/3 to become customers of the Quack gaming platform. You are invited to play the early version of the game, catch the duck, and hunt down the fake news. Thank you.
Thank you, Nino, and happy birthday. If we could convince 1/3 of Politico's readers to become paying subscribers, I wouldn't be hosting this summit. I'd be doing something else. Jonas, what's your question and feedback?
No, I think that this is great, but I want to challenge you a little bit, which it challenges myself as well, because in the foundation, we actually also made a game in a similar way on disinformation, and that people can go through, where it's not Duck Hunt, but where you're a political candidate that goes sort of through why you didn't win an election and some of the things that happened during that. My question would just be, we often think this is a way to engage sort of younger people. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. Where do you think that really works? So if I look at my own 2 teenage sons that I tried out some of the things, they're not really. Even though it's a game that, then it's still not fun. So do we get sort of, or what is actually really our idea behind that it has to be a game?
To be honest, when we came up with this concept, we did not have teenagers as our main target audience. We were actually targeting to 30-year-olds who remember the fun that they had playing the Nintendo games. So we just wanted to trigger this emotion in them and drag them into the world of misinformation. So just like package the fake news in this way. However, I believe that gamification works for all age groups. The question we should be asking is, how can we make gamification work for educational content? And this is what we are going to be doing the next 6 months, to be observing and learning from our beta users to make sure that we get all the pieces together right in order to attract the users, make them come back to the game, and also inspire them to share information about the game to their peers and become the constantly returning users to the platform. So yes, people love entertainment and gamification works. We just need to find the exact components and ingredients how to make it work for social projects such as this one.
Alexander, the honor of the final question goes to you.
I think, I like having games as part of educating a younger group. But games, it's easy to make a game, it's hard to make a fun game. What is the team's background for making, working with games and making sure that this is actually going to be fun and having some kind of scoring and motivation for keep continuing doing this and not just doing it once and then forgetting about it, having people coming back and do this as a thing to do?
We have made around 10, 15 educational games, which are one-off games where a player finishes the game and they are never going to come back. So we have learned how not to do the game like that. So we have learned that we need to put in some components which will keep them coming back. And through the Quack Hunter game, we are actually taking the components from the Nintendo games, right? So the mechanics of catching the duck, shooting, these are kind of borrowed. And we have been brainstorming about different models of having the leaderboards, having friends, even shooting together, having pairs competing with each other, maybe even some hidden prizes here and there for some thematic editions. So these are the components that we want actually to experiment with and see which ones work best for our audiences. Maybe some of them work better in certain countries, in a certain age group. We just need to experiment, try and learn, and then I believe we will get it right.
Thank you, Nino, and congratulations to you as to all of the fellows.